The ceremonies will begin, and I will ask Nilima Paravastu to place the tika on Her Excellency. Shanti Reddy will do the garlanding of Her Excellency, and Sunita Sahadev will place the shawl on Her Excellency.
Om Hare Om Mahabhadram Karnebhih Sroniyama Deva Bhadram Pashyema Chabhirya Jataraha Sthirairangai Tuštavagung Sastanubhirvase Mahideva Hitanjadayoho Shataminnu Sharado Janti Deva Jatarao Nasyakara Jara Santanu Nama Utara Sojata Pitaro Bhavanti Mano Madhya Rehe Khata Juganto Dyauho Shantirantariksha Gung Shantehe Prethave Shantirapaha Shantiro Sadhayaha Shantehe Vanaspatayaha Shantirvisave Devaha Shantehe Brahma Shantehe Sarvagung Shantireva Shantehe Sama Shantiredhe Jato Jataha Shamiha Se Tato No Abhayam Kuru Shannaha Kuru Prajabhyo Bhayannaha Pashubhyaha Shishantirabhavatu Om Hare Om Mahaviradhare Vipul Mangaladhanashile Bhaktarthinasini Viranchi Hare Sabande Kirti Pradakhila Mano Rathade Mahar Hai Vidya Pradayini Saraswati Nomini Nityam Vidya Pradayini Saraswati Nomini Nityam Yasre Swayam Srukritinam Bhavane Swalakshmi Papatmanam Kritadhyam Hridaye Subodhe.
Her Excellency would like the Diya accompanied by the President of the Hindu Council of Australia, Mr. Sai Paravastu, His Excellency the High Commissioner for India, Mr. Gopal Baglay, and Sarah Story from DFAT, and Mr. Arjun Khan, the Deputy Director of Protocol. I will also request all the faith representatives who are here in alphabetic order, the Baha'i, Better Balanced Futures, Buddhist, Christian, Hindu, Islam, Jain, Judaism, and Sikh representatives to please stand here on the front if you can make it. I just got the steps here.
Dil And ensured that we kept a connection with our cultural heritage, including the language, although I do speak Bengali with an Australian accent, the food, a love of cricket, of course, and the festivals. I'd like to introduce the Governor-General, Her Excellency, the Honourable Sam Mostyn AC, to say a few words. Thank you.
Welcome to you all. This is just such a splendid morning. Only a week ago today, we hosted their Majesties, King Charles III and Queen Camilla. And we thought that was a very special day. But to see you all gathering here today, I know that today is just as special, particularly for all of your communities. And the day is just as beautiful as it was last Monday. Of course, I want to start by acknowledging that we meet here on the traditional lands of the Ngunnawal people and pay my respects to their elders past and present, and actually pay my respects to any other families and people with connections to the lands of the ACT and the surrounding regions. His Excellency Mr. Gopal Baglay, Indian High Commissioner to Australia, members of the Hindu Council of Australia, guests of the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, members of the various faith communities from around the ACT and Canberra, distinguished guests, of which you are all very distinguished here at Government House. I'd also like to acknowledge that I did have the opportunity to meet community members here on Friday who represent some of Canberra's important organisations celebrating and supporting the tremendous multicultural diversity of our capital city, including the Multicultural Association of Canberra and the Federation of Nepalese Community Associations of Australia. I hope to meet many more of you as my term unfolds. I'm only just 3.5 months into my term, so we have lots of time to get to know one another. These meetings are so important as a way for communities to share their stories and the things that matter to you. And I deeply value the voice of all Australians. But here today, in welcoming you all to Government House, it is us, those that work here at Government House, that have received the greatest gift. In the Festival of Light ceremony to light the lamps, the chanting of the mantras, the flowers, the music, the colours, you have brought light, beauty and energy to Yarralumla in celebrating Deepavali. I also want to wish all Hindu Australians a very happy celebration of Deepavali on the 1st of November, just a few days away. And it was such an honour, just in the last few moments, to light the first celebratory lamp here with all of you at Government House. I've been looking forward to this event for some time, and this morning has been even more beautiful and more meaningful than I could have hoped. My husband, Simeon, sends his apologies. He was here just over the weekend but had to return last night with my daughter. He's a barrister and he had a court matter this morning that he couldn't move. He couldn't ask the judge to let him out of that matter. So he sends his best wishes, and I'm sure he'll be here at many Diwali ceremonies in the years to come. Now, all of you know that former Governor-General Hurley and Mrs Hurley had deep affection and respect for the Indian community here in Australia in all of its diversity. Their friendship with you was an important bond that I'm very proud to preserve and will continue to advance as your Governor-General. I spent a wonderful evening, as some of you will recall, in Brisbane recently at the Federation of Ethnic Communities Councils of Australia conference, and listening to and learning from the many organisations that represent so many different migrant and refugee communities, I felt the extraordinary energy of multicultural Australia, of modern Australia. And I saw that multiculturalism as the beating heart of a modern, optimistic, vibrant and diverse Australia. The Indian diaspora communities, as communities of faith, culture, language, family and friendship, are central to Australia's multicultural story. It is a story that we must sell and tell together, just as we are today, boldly, exuberantly and often. In Brisbane, I chose to speak about the many versions of multiculturalism that have evolved over generations in Australia. I was able to reflect that the migrants of the 1970s could never have imagined a Deepavali Festival taking place at Government House in Canberra in 2024. Nor would they have been able to describe what I now see every time I welcome young Australian students here. We have 25,000 students that pass through Government House every year on the School Students Program from all over the country. And in class groups, particularly the young class groups, there is a brimming of diversity. First, second and third generation Indian Australians who are full of joy, enthusiasm and determination to contribute to and lead Australia into our future. It's for this reason that I know our coming summer of cricket will foreshadow something of all of our tomorrows. We're going to have some internal debates and probably different loyalties in some of your families, with the men facing off in the 5 Test Border Gavaskar series and the women testing each other in 3 one-day international matches. Your homes across Canberra and the ACT in Australia will be arguing the toss between Australia and India, and perhaps with those younger Australians barracking more for the green and gold. Good luck with those conversations. Perhaps the only solution is to simply enjoy the beauty of the great game of cricket played at the highest level of excellence that we enjoy here as Australians and as Indians and those that come from all over the world. As Australians, we cherish our free, open and democratic spirit that is framed by the related and equally important elements of our Indigenous foundations for 65,000 years, our British institutions and our remarkable multicultural present and future. Joining you today, I know that I am filled with optimism for that future, and it will be one that you'll be helping to shape. As you work with and for the future of our nation, you affirm diversity as the strength of who we are and who we seek to be. For my term as Governor-General, I'm committed to elevate care, kindness and respect. Care for each other, care for those who care for others, care for our extraordinary continent and its environmental beauty, care for civics and institutions, and care in the way we debate the big issues of our time. So today, it is truly wonderful that we celebrate care, kindness and respect of the Indian community in Australia, and know that it is brighter than the light of the Diya and the source of great hope. In every way, it mirrors the beauty we find in Deepavali, when goodness, truth, peace and harmony are ushered into the world to triumph over darkness. I will long remember the joy, symbolism and friendship of this morning. Thank you to you all, and especially to the Hindu Council of Australia, for sharing this moment of beauty and this wonderful festival with us here at Government House. I hope you enjoy the rest of our time together this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very mindful that Her Excellency went to the FECA conference not so long ago, and we know that one of the key discussions that took place there was domestic violence. And in fact, the first dance, the cultural presentation you saw of Narkasur Moksha was extremely attached to that particular philosophy. So, and I think you will also see that some of the gifts that come to you will also be very meaningful later on. Ladies and gentlemen, I have now great pleasure in asking the President of the Hindu Council of Australia, Mr. Sai Paravastu, to speak.
Deepam Jyoti Parabrahma, Deepam Jyarapana, Deepo Haridme Papam, Sandhyadikam Namaste. I'd like to pay my respects to the land on which we meet today, to elders past, present, and emerging. I also request you to think of the land from where you have arrived today. I know you all are coming from different parts of the country. I'm here today coming from Canberra land. I pay my respects to their people of lineage. On the same note, I would like to pay respects to my ancestors, my lineage, and my forefathers who have given me this great culture. I'm a proud Hindu, and we are so proud here today to present and celebrate Deepavali, Her Excellency. Thank you for hosting us. And it's a great milestone for our community to not only migrate here and living, but also to celebrate this festival at its highest level. Hindus have come from 32 plus countries to Australia, migrated from 32 different countries and called Australia home. And we've been a proud contributing citizens, but also we all celebrate festivity in different forms during this month, especially the month of October, where we have so many festivals. It starts from Navratri, Jain, then people celebrate Karwa Chauth, Chhat Puja, and then we come to this Deepavali, which is again another 5-day festival. So the celebrations goes all over the month, and it comes in different traditions and different ways of celebrating it. So I would like to wish all of them who have been celebrating this month in different ways and different deities during this period. This also reminds us that the culture which has come from thousands of years, this festival was celebrated in different time periods in different ways. The beautiful dance which we saw just before was from Treta Yuga, where Sri Krishna and Satyabhama kills the demon Narkasura. But if you take the Dwapara Yuga, that's where the festival is more known for, when Rama has defeated Ravana and then returned home, and that's how the festival was celebrated. So if you go through these time periods, you see different celebrations happening. But one thing, not surprises I would say, but the timing of this festival is so aligned astronomically that many thousands of years later, more recently I would say, Sikh community celebrate this as a celebration of Pandit Dr, which is the release of their Guru. So if you see the alignment of this timing, time and time, we keep coming into the same conjunction of time where we celebrate festivities. Same is with Buddhists, where they celebrate their connectedness with nature. And for Jains, it's the Mahavir's state of celebrating Nirvana. So this timing has been very auspicious, and it would stay auspicious, and we'll be celebrating more of this as time was Shubh Deepavali. Thank you once again, Her Excellency, for hosting us.
Thank you, Saiji. Ladies and gentlemen, I have great pleasure now to present to you His Excellency, the High Commissioner for India, Mr. Gopal.
Thank you very much, Shanti Reddy. Let me also begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land where we meet and paying my respect to their elders, past, present, and emerging. And as we do in India, pay respect to our elders and our traditional custodians, first people, the indigenous Adivasi, as we call them. and that community, Your Excellency. From that community comes our present head of state, the President of India, Mrs. Draupadi Murmu. Your Excellency, distinguished officers of Government House, of DFAT and other government agencies from the Government of Australia, leadership and members of the Hindu Council of Australia, representatives and leaders of all the faiths present here, my Indian origin brothers and sisters, colleagues from the High Commission, Namaste, good morning, Salam Alaikum, Sat Shri Akal, Shalom to all of you. It's a singular honor for us, Your Excellency, to in a way begin the celebration of Deepavali at the highest office in Australia. And what a day it has been. You mentioned, Your Excellency, 1 week ago the King and the Queen were here. I think at that time and at this time, the right instructions would have gone out to the weather people. And it's been one of the most brilliant mornings, set with sunshine. And that sunshine is resplendent, is reflected in the spirit of Deepavali. It's a festival of light, as everyone knows. And as Sai mentioned, it brings together the diversity in its celebrations, in its different cultural contexts within India. In different parts, it is celebrated under different names, different religious, mythological stories. But the theme is common. The theme is celebration of harmony, of togetherness, of prayers for peace. And the chanting that has reverberated in the lounge of this august house, Your Excellency, earlier today morning, is essentially the prayer for peace, prayer for harmony, prayer for well-being of everyone. I think everyone today knows the story, the mythological story behind the celebration of Deepavali. So I would just confine myself to 3 points. The diversity and the celebration of diversity that Deepavali brings together. You mentioned, Your Excellency, that in the 1970s, those who came to Australia may not have envisioned or envisaged or foreseen that we would be celebrating Deepavali like this. But I may mention to Your Excellency that my colleagues in the High Commission, I personally, and also my colleagues in the 4 consulates general that we have in Sydney, Melbourne, Perth and Brisbane, are having a hard time to keep up with various limitations. In all parts of Australia, not only the capitals of the states, but also in regional Australia. Today we have this great privilege of being with you, celebrating this festival in your august company. Day before yesterday I was in Victoria with the Premier of Victoria. And day after tomorrow I look forward to being in the company of the Premier of New South Wales. This is just one example. Even 9 months ago when we presented the credentials to your distinguished predecessor, Your Excellency, I did not envision even at that time, at the time of the wonderful smoke ceremony that we had over here, that soon enough, just after 9 months, we all will be here together celebrating Deepavali. So thank you very much, Your Excellency, for opening not just the gates of this august house, but your heart. Not for just this festival, but for this wonderful diaspora, the Indian diaspora, which brings together the best of the values that Australia and India cherish and share together and work together for inculcating them. The values of democracy, of freedom, of celebrating the diversity together. The other point I would like to mention, Your Excellency, is that Deepavali is of course a worship of Lakshmi, who is popularly known as the goddess of wealth, of prosperity. But prosperity is just not money. It's much more than that. And in fact, in the Hindu pantheon, the 3 deities that are regarded to be the fundamental are Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, the creator, the preserver and the destroyer. And they have in a sense a counterpart in the trinity of female divinities, which is Durga, the protector, and we celebrated Devi, Durga Puja, not long ago. Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity, but underpinning both these goddess of Saraswati. Again, all these three were revered, were worshipped, and they were chanting included in Diwedi's, Pandit Dibedi's mantras this morning. So our tradition is to celebrate just not together, but togetherness of these forces. Forces of creation, forces of preservation, and forces of protection. And women are at the core of it. And we are so very privileged to have you here, Your Excellency, to bless this occasion, to bless this festival, to bless the Indian origin community here, and in a sense, bless this relationship, the Australia-India relationship, which is growing stronger day by day, because, not just because our leadership shares the vision, which reflects the aspiration of all our people to make this relationship even more stronger, but because these people and millions of like them are at the front and center of this wonderful relationship. You mentioned about the summer of cricket. We will have to do better than what we are doing right now. But let me, Your Excellency, conclude by mentioning another achievement which is just around the corner. You might be very happy to know, as the head of state here, and also as a woman, that very shortly we expect a 2-women team from Indian Navy on a sailboat on a circumnavigation of the globe. They are, I think, likely to arrive in the second week or thereabouts on their voyage, which started last month from India. Fremantle or Perth will be their port of call. And that venture will not only celebrate the empowerment of women, the spirit of adventure that India and Australia share, but the power of truth and connectivity between our two maritime democracies. So with these words, Excellency, and all of you, let me once again thank you for joining with us together to celebrate, joining the Hindu Council of Australia to celebrate this wonderful festival of Deepavali, which is essentially, as I said, the festival for prayers of peace, harmony, and prosperity. I would like to end with a prayer, which is essentially the prayer again for the well-being of everyone. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramyah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha. May all beings be happy. May all beings never see any disease or difficulty, and may we always be together in the pursuit of prosperity, peace, and harmony. Namaskar.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a festival is for? It's mainly for gifts and for sweets. You can decide which one is more appropriate to you personally. But on this special occasion, Your Excellency, may I ask you to come here so that there can be some presentations made to you. There are 3 presentations to be made today. The first presentation will be made to you on behalf of all the Hindus in Australia, and I ask this presentation to be made to you by the Executive Committee member of the Hindu Council of Australia, Mr. Ashutosh Agarwal, assisted by Mrs. Meenu Arora. Commissioner has just said a couple of minutes ago. Going to be from the Sikh community. That is, the presentation is going to be made by Sardar Dilmohan Singh, who is here. Sardar Dilmohan Singh ji is going to make a presentation on behalf of the Sikh community. Jain community is very a quiet one, but actually a very effective one, not only in India, but in Australia too. they have combined to make a particular special gift to you. I will ask Surendraji to speak about it as he comes and presents this to you. But the presentations are going to be made by Mr. Surinder Jain, who is Vice President of the Hindu Council of Australia, and Lalita Ajmera, who is with the Hindu Council of Australia in the ACT branch. The first dance is going to be Ashtalakshmi Stotram, and it will be followed by the glimpse of Krishna's life.
Sani
Please do not forget to take a box with you. And also the Diyas are here, and you are most welcome. I have got permission that you would be welcome to put the Diyas here, so long as we do not obstruct each other. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Your Excellency. I'd now like to ask Mr. Dr. Shanti Reddy to move a vote of thanks on behalf of the Hindu Council.
Your Excellency, the Governor General, thank you for inaugurating this Baha'i festival during this auspicious Hindu Heritage Month, which we are all very proud of. Thank you very much. The Indian Australian community deeply appreciate this honor. Thank you. Your Excellency, the High Commissioner of India, Mr. Gopal Baglay, we are grateful for your presence today, symbolizing the strong friendship between the two countries. Thank you. Sincere thanks to DFAT officers and also the Director of Protocol, Deputy Director of Protocol for joining us today. Hope you've enjoyed the celebrations. Our heartfelt appreciation goes to the performers who have brought joy and energy to the celebrations, to the occasion. We also extend our special thanks to our interstate guests who have traveled a long way to be here with us. Thank you. I would also acknowledge the faith representative here today with us for your presence, which promotes the peace and harmony, a message fully fitting for this celebration. Thank you. Lastly, a huge thanks to Kanti and all of you for coming. So enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I believe there's going to be some sustenance for us coming up shortly. Your Excellency, may I also extend my own thanks to you and to all the people who have been associated in making this very successful event.
And thank you very much. Did you want to say anything before? We did, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I